What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video. For today's video, we're going to take a quick look at the upcoming Nike Zoom GT Cut 2.0. These should be releasing in the next month or two for the next basketball season that's upcoming. I am looking forward to seeing if Nike has the supply chain issues with the manufacturing of the shoe under wraps, because with the GT Cut 1, they just did not make a ton of pairs, and once people heard how great they were on court, these really sold out quick, and they're selling for 2 or 3 times the retail price. But let's take a look at the shoe here. As you can see here, the lateral side, I'm not a huge fan of the overall design, but if they perform great on court, that's all that matters to me. To me, they look like a running shoe. I'm also not a huge fan of the swoosh and how small it is. I did like on the original GT Cuts how large the swoosh was. And then as far as the medial side here, as you can see here, you do have some branding that says GT Cut version 2.0. As far as the heel counter, it's definitely kind of cool with that ribbed design, but overall I think these are going to be great performers on court. And then as far as the outsole goes, they look very aggressive, and it looks like these actually might be great for outdoor use, as that forefoot pattern is very widespread and it looks pretty deep as well. So I think these are going to perform great indoors, but I would actually like to take these outdoors to see how they perform outdoors. But again, I think this traction pattern, the first ones were great for me, but I think the second ones, just by the look, they might be even better. And then again, on that medial side, you have that branding GT Cut version 2.0, and you can see a close-up of the uppers there as well. And in the next slide, you'll see a very close-up of the uppers. It does almost look like a fly knit with some really different patterns on the upper, where it might be knitted stronger in some portions of the upper than the others. So it's definitely a cool look. I think the uppers of these are going to be very minimal, and they might even be more lightweight than the original GT Cuts. And then as you can see here, that heel counter, they probably will have an internal TPU heel counter, and then they do have that ribbed portion at the back. I'm actually happy they did remove some of the TPU that was on the original ones, because that did, for me, it added some unneeded weight within the shoe. But again, as far as the heel counter goes, it's definitely a futuristic look. And then as far as the drop-in midsole, you do have that material on the top of the React now. I know a lot of people weren't a big fan of not having that material there, because not having the sock liner material there, because a lot of people's socks were getting bunched up on that drop-in midsole. For me, it didn't really bother me, but I think it'll be a welcome addition as well. So you do have a React drop-in midsole. And then here's an overall tech package breakdown of the shoe. You are going to have a full-length Zoom strobel directly under that drop-in midsole. And then you do have a hex Zoom unit attached to the drop-in midsole, rather than that large rectangle unit that was in the heel of the GT Cut 1. So that is a difference there. You do have a midfoot shank plate. Again, that upper looks really thin, very lightweight, and this is just the overall package that we'll be getting in the Nike Zoom GT Cut 2.0. And then, like I said, in the heel of the drop-in midsole, you do have this really tiny, it's almost embarrassingly tiny hex unit for Zoom. But again, if it adds a little bit of that impact protection in the heel, I'm game for it. For me, I would have preferred that larger rectangle unit attached to the drop-in midsole, but nonetheless, you do have a second Zoom unit. And then above the strobel unit, you do have some material covering it, whereas on the 1.0s, when you lifted your drop-in midsole, there was no material, you could just see the Zoom airbag. So they did add that on the 2.0s. Not really sure why they did that. I have seen that on some other models, but on the GT Cut 2.0, you do have that fabric. And then here's another quick look of that forefoot of the traction pattern. Very aggressive. I think these are going to have a great bite. And just by looking at that traction pattern, I think these are going to be very good for outdoors. But indoors, I think they're really going to perform fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I think the GT Cut 1.0, the traction pattern was great, but there's another look for the 2.0s. And then this looks like a ghost green colorway, similar to the 1.0s. So again, some of these colorways we'll probably be getting later in the year. I'm hoping they launch with that black and red colorway, and I really hope they make a ton of pairs so people can get them at retail. And then again, there is another colorway. They kind of look like an Anta shoe for Klay Thompson in this colorway, in my opinion. But again, you have a all white with blue, red, and yellow. That's really going to be it for the video today. Let me know what you guys think of the Nike Zoom GT Cut 2.0. Again, design-wise, I do prefer the 1.0, but here's a quick look, and just let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And until next time, peace.